I've known Josh since about 1994. We went to St. Vincent de Paul together, junior high school, and
we had a brief encounter then. She was interested, I wasn't.
Well, when I found out that they knew each other in junior high, I was thinking, like, the way he says it is something like, oh yeah, I didn't have a time of day for her, or something like that. I'm thinking like, yeah, right, she shot you down, buddy, there's no way.
I always thought he was really cute when he was in grade 8, but I was in grade 9 and I was way cooler than him, so we couldn't have any junior high dating.
Fast forward about maybe 7, 8 years later. I was at Oktoberfest at UFC. She was as well.
So I guess that would have kind of been, I don't know if that's a first date, but that's when we first connected. So we shared a polka, and then he asked me if I wanted to go back and polka, if I wanted to go make out under the stairs for the rest of the night. So
we hooked up, got her phone number, and from there, that's how I ended up here.
Well, actually, I remember Josh asked me for my phone number at Cowboys one night and asked me what day I'd be free to go on a date. So I was all excited and I told him I'd be free on Monday, and then he never phoned me.
Wow.
When Josh and I got engaged, I had sort of been harassing him for many years about proposing to me, and he just was not ready.
And I had several death threats directed to me by her, that if I didn't do it soon, that it was the end.
And I definitely knew I was ready, and I figured that he should be too. So I left.
Serious threats.
I left pictures of the engagement ring I wanted all over his house, which just got him more and more and more annoyed.
Sooner or later, after about 12 months of that, I decided that, I'd like to marry this girl, beautiful girl, love her very much, and it was time.
So he booked us 2 first-class tickets to New York City, and it was at the beginning of December, and I had a pretty good idea that he was going to propose, because he booked first class. We were staying at the Pierre, and he had all these plans in mind.
And, I had it all planned out, had the ring in my pocket, so on and so on.
And I figured that I had to look like Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City the entire time I was there, because I knew that the minute he proposed, I had to look extra pretty. So we got down, we get all dressed up, we're gonna go for dinner, and Josh never listens to any advice. So the doorman at the hotel told him, if you want a good restaurant, you have to turn right. So Josh says, let's just turn left. So we end up walking through the financial district of New York. There's no restaurant anywhere to be seen. I'm wearing sky-high heels. I'm in pain within about the first 20 minutes. So I am dying. We're walking. I think my heel broke. He finally gets a cab. He gets into the cab. His pant splits from stem to stern. So his pants are ripped all the way up the back. He gets a nosebleed. We end up going back to the hotel and getting room service that night. So I figured, okay, it's not gonna happen tonight. Too many bad things have been happening. The next day, we went shopping all day. I was wearing the ridiculous shoes, because again, it could happen at any time, and I have to have good shoes on when I get proposed to. And
But she never stops talking, so I couldn't find a minute to do it. So for 3 days down there, had several things planned, but because of her, it just didn't work out.
he kept saying all day he had something special planned for that night, but he didn't know if it was gonna pan out. And he found out at the end of the night that what he had planned was not gonna pan out. He wanted to take me to the Tony Bennett concert. And it was sold out and he couldn't get tickets. So I ended up dragging him to the musical Hairspray, which he actually really enjoyed. And then we did something for him. We went to the Brazilian steakhouse and ate 400 pounds of meat. So the next day was our very last day there, and now I'm feeling a little bit, I'm beginning to think that it's not gonna happen.
Wow.
So I decided to get comfortable shoes. So we went and we bought a pair of Uggs, the ugliest boots ever, but they were so comfortable. We shopped all day, and then when he said to me, "What do you want to do tonight?" At that moment, I knew that I was not getting proposed to. He had nothing planned. So I sort of laid down and we had a nap, and I was crying because I was thinking, I have to go home and tell my parents that we're not engaged and it's not gonna happen. I'm planning the breakup speech for the plane on the way home. Because it's been 7 years and enough's enough. I really wanna be engaged. I'm almost 30. I don't need to be a cougar getting married with gray hair. It was horrible. So I was crying, I was upset, and he gets up, he says, "Let's go on, why don't we just go on one of those carriage rides?" And so then I'm really mad, because I'm thinking, you know what, that would have been a really romantic proposal, but it's obviously, he wouldn't announce to me that we're gonna do this, so.
Finally, it had to be that she was so dejected, thinking that it would happen, and it didn't, that she finally stopped talking, which gave me the opportunity to do it.
He actually slipped the ring on my finger underneath the blanket on the carriage, so I didn't see the ring, and he just said, "Will you marry me?" And I said,
She was crying, so I don't even know if she really said yes.
"Yes, I'll marry you."
It was a bunch of tears and sobs.
I don't think I ever said yes, because I was making the wounded animal noise. I think he wanted to run.
I was absolutely terrified.
Josh started to cry. I don't think he'll admit it to anyone. It was a little embarrassing. I was a little embarrassed, but it was okay.
People like us end up together because it's gonna work. I'm completely realistic. I know for the rest of my life, I will regret this day, but at the same time, it'll be the best decision I've ever made. She's a beautiful girl. She's completely high maintenance, the most dramatic person I've ever met.
Josh is very smart. He's very academic. He's the smartest person that I know.
I've never met such a princess in my entire life.
And Josh is a big guy, but he is the clumsiest human being on the planet.
Well, she's got phenomenal hair, beautiful smile, bright blue eyes. She's one of the best cooks I've ever met or ever sampled. She always looks 10 out of 10 phenomenal.
My absolute favorite thing about Josh is his heart and his generosity. He is sort of everybody's big brother. He helped every guy we know through school and through hockey.
And tell them that I'm the funniest, she's the funniest girl I've ever met.
Josh, you're gonna kill me because you don't like sappy things, and I'm about to embarrass you in front of all the hockey guys. So prepare yourself. I really love you. I'm so happy that we're getting married. I can't think of anyone in the world that I'd rather spend the rest of my life with. You're my best friend. You have so many qualities that I love and appreciate. We have the same sense of humor. We're just best friends. He's my best friend in the whole world.
You make me smile. How do you go through life without smiling? I'm fortunate enough that I'll be smiling every time I see you, every time you speak, every time all the time. You are absolutely stunning. So am I. So it's kind of like a magnet. You meet in the middle, but looking at you, you're gorgeous. Can't help but appreciate it. You have a special gift. There's no girl that I know who can appeal to everyone they meet like you do. You walk in a room, you own it. It's, you know, anyone who's ever seen you or heard your name remembers your name because you've walked into the room and you've taken their breath away, not because of the way you looked, but because who you are. I can't wait. I'm excited, but I'm absolutely terrified.